When we talk about earthen building, most of people cannot imagine how can we use earth to make a house. It's hard to believe that. But actually earthen house is not new thing at all. More than 1,300 years ago, many people built their own house in the cliff in this area. There are many houses, many villages like this in this area. They call Mesa Verde. Mesa Verde means it look like a plateau like this, and then there are many ridge. This is they call Mesa Verde. In this area, it's very dry and hot, and in the winter there's snow. But the native people in this area they call Anasazi, but later on they don't call Anasazi because it means the ancient enemy, and they don't think it's good word. So now they call them Pueblo people. So they live in this area more than 1,300 years ago. They built their houses with rocks and clay mixed together. It's so incredible location to live in this area. The Pueblo people, they built their house with rocks and mud in the alcove on the cliff like this. It's very good location because it will be protected very well from the rain, from the sun, from the wind. Especially, it's not easy for their enemy to attack them because to get in this village, this town, is not easy. There is only one narrow and steep path to go to their communities. It's not easy for enemy to get in here because they can come only one at a time. If they block this area, they cannot come because they live in the cliff. It's so stiff. So it's the best location. This village they call the Cliff Palace. It's the biggest village in this area. And I love this area a lot. This is my third time to come here. It's very inspiring to see the architecture of the ancient people. They have Kivas. This is what they call Kivas. It's very good design how to make the meeting room or the ritual place with the fireplace in underground, and then they have technology to design to make the smoke come out in one side of it, so it will not disturb people inside. I like to come here because it inspired me to learn about earthen building of the ancient people, like a Pueblo people, the way they chip the rocks and the way they use mud to bind together. Most of the buildings in this area were restored, but I can see there's many part of it still old from the beginning. So we can see how the 1,300 years old clay look like when they used to build a house. I impressed with the ancient people because they don't have a lot of tools like we have now. They don't have a lot of technology and anything at all, but they can build many things incredible that nowadays people cannot do like them without tools like them. I like to come here often because every time when I come, I will have more confidence about earthen building or natural building, that it will last long. Look at this wood. This wood is the floor of the second floor. They use wood and then plaster with mud on top of wood. And the wood that they use is juniper. This is juniper trees, which is they grow a lot in this area. Juniper is the one that we use to make gin and tonic. People at that time they use juniper for medicine, for eating also. And juniper in this area they don't grow tall. So they use the stem to make the beam very close together on the floor and cover with mud. Mud is not easy to find here because everywhere is full of rocks. Everywhere is rock. So they need to work very hard to get mud to build their own house. Even the path to go is so narrow, so stiff. It's not easy to live here, but it's so nice and cool. It is so dry and hot in this area. No river, there's no lake, no ponds in this area. How can they survive to live here? The archaeologists said that there's a spring sip out from the sandstone, and that is where they can get water to use in their daily life. And their food, mainly they rely on corn. They grew corn on top of the plateau and bring it back to their home and grind it into corn powder and use it. They eat a lot of wild animal like a wild turkey and deer. They have a lot of tools that they made from clay, like a jar or bucket or anything to hold water. It's quite beautiful pattern, beautiful art that they use in their pottery. There's the sandstone that they use to sharp their weapon, their knife or their stone or their arrowhead for hunting. This is very incredible way of living in the minimal tools, but they can survive for a long time in this area. Every time when I come here, I gain more understanding about the way they live. Especially, I understand more about their wisdom, how they create their develop their architecture, how they develop their technique, their skill of building. It's unbelievable to think about 1,300 years ago. People don't have many tools, don't have clothes, don't have many technology, but they know how to build a house, to think about airflow, to think about light, to think about the way to make the house very comfortable for them. Which is now we have everything, but many house is not comfortable to live like this. I love to come here to learn this kind of skill, this kind of wisdom. It's very important to think about it. But now these people disappear from this area. The archaeologists, they said that they move away because of drought. No more rain. They cannot grow corn. There's no spring water come out from the sandstone anymore. So they cannot survive without water. That's why they move away. Even the Pueblo people, they're not here anymore. They disappear somewhere. But we can learn a lot from what they left for us here. A lot of things we need to learn. For me, this is the most precious wisdom that people in the past left for us. It's worth it to go back to study and develop it, to make it easier and better than before. We cannot just ignore it and then pursue new technology, expensive technology and complicated technology. And those technology will be owned by somebody. It's not for public. You need to pay if you want to use it. It will be very sad if we let this wisdom disappear, because we can learn from them, we can develop from what they learned already, make it better, make it easier for us. I think it will be public wisdom that anybody can use, can develop it more for us all to make our life easier and better than before.